So give Pat credit.
But he leaned on his girlfriend Chat to give us that.
And here is what Shefty had to say about the latest between Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys.
I just think that, Dallas always has drama. Jerry loves the drama. He likes to create the drama. And there's going to be drama with this now and going forward. For all I know, the two sides decide to sit down at the bargaining table and they hammer out a deal that makes Micah the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Could that happen? Yes. There's zero indication, that that's going to happen, that there's going to be a reverse. And it sounds like at some point in time, whether that's now, after the season, after 2 seasons, it sounds like the two sides are headed towards a divorce at some time.
The two sides are headed for a divorce. 24 hours later, guys, how are you feeling about the fact that these two sides could be heading towards a divorce?
I hope it happens. I've been saying
You're
this.
rooting for divorce.
I'm rooting for divorce only in this instance. Now, obviously, I want Micah Parsons to get paid because he's earned every dollar of that. However, I have been saying this for a long time, that I was hoping that a star player would stand up to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys and the way that they go about these contract negotiations. It's not beneficial for the player. It's not beneficial for the team holistically. And I was hoping that somebody would say, enough is enough. I'm removing myself from the circus. I'm going to go to a team that's stable. I'm going to go to a franchise that believes in me. And I'm going to go to a place where all of this stuff is not the priority and winning is. And you know who can do that is Micah Parsons. Now, if at the end of the day, he says, my best opportunity is here, I'm going to get my money, I want to play for the Dallas Cowboys, I want to be a legacy player here, then so be it. But we are at the precipice of something that we haven't seen before, which is somebody saying to Jerry Jones, I'm good. I'm out of here. And I'm rooting for it to happen.
Yeah, well, Micah's going to get his money no matter where he plays at, whether it's with the Dallas Cowboys or if the Cowboys trade him away for a king's ransom. Micah is going to get paid. And we know what the numbers basically are. It's $42 million a year or more. It's $120 million at signing fully guaranteed or more. That's what it is. You can chat GPT what the contract for Micah Parsons is going to be. It's going to be pretty close. He's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. But if we already know that, what I have trouble understanding is why Jerry hasn't gotten this deal done. Now, based on Adam Schefter's reporting around this, Jerry and the Cowboys feel aggrieved because they believe they agreed in principle to a deal with Micah Parsons in the absence of his agent earlier in the offseason. And since that point, the market for edge rushers has been reset 3 times over. So it's fascinating to see how all of this is going to play out. And I honestly don't have a read on it, just because conventional wisdom would tell you that you would take care of the best player on the team, especially when that player is in his prime. Micah Parsons is 26 years old. But if we learn anything about Jerry Jones throughout watching his negotiations over the past several years, and if you watch the Cowboys documentary, The Gambler and His Cowboys, on Netflix, you know that you can't assign conventional wisdom, conventional logic to the decisions of Jerry Jones. That's just not how he operates. That's not how he turned a $150 million business into a $15 billion brand. And so I'm starting to lean toward the reporting that Shefty gave us yesterday and his gut feeling that this could ultimately end up with Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys going their separate ways.
ChatGPT, you asked, says a 5-year, $205 million contract would be the guesstimation. $90 million fully guaranteed. Total projection of guarantees at $124.5 million. Highest non-paid quarterback in the NFL. A hypothetical. You asked for Pat's girl Chat to give us the answer, and she gave us the answer here. There's more to what you said, because there is a member of the Jones family that may actually be giving us the indication. Is this for show or for real with Micah? We will get to that after seeing much to talk about at all times. And Shefty with us yesterday, giving us tremendous information that maybe Micah and the Cowboys heading towards a divorce. But we also have Charlotte Jones, who is the Cowboys Executive Vice President and Chief Brand Officer. And she was on the Good Morning Football podcast and had this to say about the Micah Parsons situation.
It does happen all the time. And then, again, I think that's a testament to people's interest that whatever we are doing, there are other contract holdouts, across the league. Everyone deals with the same issue. We just happen to be on this stage of interest that is more magnified than most. So every little hiccup, every little sneeze is blown up and blown out of proportion and, discussed at a level that is probably, above and beyond where most teams experience it. And so for me, as I sit back and look at it, I think we've developed over time the ability to kind of tune out the noise and just focus on, the issue at hand.
Not exactly saying it's a bad thing that it's blown out of proportion. Every sneeze, everything with the Cowboys, with Charlotte Jones there. I still think on the Jerry side, this is for show. I still think they're going to get this done. And
well, whether or not, here's the thing: whether or not it's for show, the noise doesn't bother Jerry. It just doesn't. I mean,
no noise bothers Jerry.
No, it does exactly.
Right,
if it's quiet, it bothers Jerry.
Exactly.
But as long as they're talking about him, Cowboy Soap Opera 365, that's what he wants.
Right.
I mean, I hate to keep referencing this, but the new Cowboys documentary on Netflix, Jerry Jones talks about it. He says the most success that he's had in his life was when he goes the other way, when he bucks the popular trend, right? Trading Herschel Walker. Betting it all and buying the Dallas Cowboys a distressed asset when Bum Bright's bank has gone belly up. Like those are the things that have formed the persona that we now know as Jerry Jones. So us criticizing him, saying he's out of his mind, he's crazy for letting this thing drag out, he's crazy for considering trading Micah Parsons, all of those things are things he's already heard in terms of the criticism. People say they don't want to be fans of the Dallas Cowboys if they trade Micah Parsons. Guess what? People said they didn't want to be fans of the Dallas Cowboys when Jerry Jones fired Tom Landry. They got back on board when Jimmy Johnson helped build the foundation for a team that won 3 championships in a 5-year span. And so Jerry is looking at all of those data points since he's taken ownership of the Dallas Cowboys. And all of these things that we're hearing now in terms of critiques on how he's managed them, he's heard them before, which is why we can't apply our logic to the situation because Jerry Jones does not do business or think business should be done the way we think it should be done. So again, when it comes to this Micah situation, I have a tough time reading it just because of the stakes of the team, but then also understanding the state of the Dallas Cowboys and understanding Jerry Jones, the guy that runs them.
Well, let's run it back to where we started this show with ChatGPT. Evan, you said someone in your life basically told you evolve or die. Either you get used to this or you're going to be left behind. Same thing with social media. You either evolve in our industry or you're going to get left behind. The way that we had success early on in our careers is not the same formula that we apply now to have a successful show, correct?
Yes.
So while Jerry Jones, from a business standpoint, has operated a certain way throughout his life and his career, and it's yielded financial success, outside of Jimmy Johnson, you haven't had the same football success for nearly 3 decades. So evolve or die. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you're looking at 3 decades of data points that are suggesting that the way you're going about business is not yielding the results that you want. So why are we continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result? That's quite literally the definition of insanity. And then on the other side of the coin, we are the definition of insanity because we keep talking about it over and over again, expecting it to be any different, expecting Jerry Jones to react any differently, which is why I hope that Micah Parsons is finally the one that hits the big red stop button and says, I'm not going to participate in this anymore.
I could not disagree more. I'm going to tell you why. The evolve or die. Let's play that out, okay? Give me a team in the NFL that you believe has 0 shot of winning a Super Bowl for the next 30 years. Like you can blindly say
30?
Yeah, just blindly say there's just no way they are going to put everything together to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, historically, let's go with the Browns.
Okay, the Browns. Why don't the Browns act more like the Cowboys? If you're not going to win the Super Bowl, why not win the Super Bowl 365 days a year, 364 outside of the day that the Super Bowl actually exists, of just breaking the bank? Why not do things exactly like Jerry? You're sitting there and watching that. We have a lot of documentaries going on right now.
Ton of documentaries.
Yeah,
I'm all in on the Chiefs one. You're all in on the Cowboys one. And then we're going to trade. And that's probably what's going to happen. When you're done with that one, I'm done with this one. You're done with this one. All of them. ESPN, by the way, the app coming out tomorrow, direct-to-consumer. It's going to have everything you could possibly imagine, by the way, on our ESPN direct-to-consumer app available for you. Anyway, point is this. I don't know why more teams that are terrible at football don't act like the Cowboys. The Cowboys are done with football. Football's so irrelevant to the Dallas Cowboys. They've done that part of it. And it's funny, as you're going through this and reliving some of the decisions that Jerry made by way of the documentary, if you think about the last 40 years in the NFL, some of the hardest decisions that actually worked out in the history of the league over the last 40 years have been made by Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Trading Herschel Walker was an impossible decision that people thought was nuts. Had that work out. Firing Tom Landry, nuts. How'd that work out? Hiring Jimmy Johnson from college. Oh, that could be crazy, hiring a college coach. How about firing Jimmy? Well, that wasn't good. He still won a Super Bowl with Barry Switzer, who no one thought was a very, I'm sorry, I don't mean it to be offensive. No one thought was a great NFL coach, great college coach. No, he still won a Super Bowl with that guy.
Oh, not to mention bringing in Norv Turner in 1991.
As an OC.
Yes.
Dave Wannstedt as a DC.
Yes.
Butch Davis in there. The staff was loaded. The point is, Smalls, everything you're saying is fair and factually correct. I would just counter and ask the question, why don't more franchises actually act like the Cowboys? And since they're not winning in football, try to win at the box office?
Because they want to win at football. That's the goal. They might not be good at it, but that's the goal. That's the whole point of the exercise, is to put together the best team possible, coach them up, get them to believe in one another, and go out there and try to win.
So you believe that's the top priority for all 32 teams in the NFL?
I think it should be.
Oh, it's not. But we know it's not for one. This one. Right?
For 31.
That's what I'm saying. But I guess what I'm asking is, should there be more? Let me do it this way. Should there be more teams that think there's more than one way to win? As odd as that sounds, scoring more points than the other team is the conventional way of winning. Should there be more teams that look at it like more businesses that look like the Cowboys?
Well, let's go back to the Browns. So drafting Shador, is that a Cowboys-like win? Because
Absolutely.
he is bringing a spotlight.
Absolutely.
As Charlotte said, it's a magnifying glass.
But here's the problem with the question that you're asking, Ev. It's operating under the assumption that every owner can be what Jerry Jones is.
Now, that's a good point.
And you can't.
No, you can't.
You can't replicate that. The charisma, the story, the presentation of it, you just can't find another owner, forget about the NFL and all the sports, that presents in the way that Jerry Jones does, because everything orbits around him. And if you don't have him at the center of it, if you don't have him taking all the slings and arrows, if you don't have a personality that has the disposition of loving the pain, and that's a direct quote from him, I don't think this works. Jerry Jones said, yeah, I want to be the general manager and the team president. I want to be in it every single day because I like the criticism. I like the pain. How many owners around the NFL want to be criticized as publicly as Jerry gets criticized? How many owners are willing to put themselves out there the way that Jerry Jones does? If you don't have an owner that's willing to do that, then you can't win when it comes to creating the soap opera drama 364 every single year. You just can't do it.
Absolutely right. The irony, as you're talking, you're like, nobody can do this. And I'm thinking, all right, rack my brain. Who was like this? Who's
the
like
closest
this?
we had was George Steinbrenner.
And I was going to say Mark Cuban.
That's what I was thinking is Cuban.
I would say George Steinbrenner.
George Steinbrenner did it for longer.
The boss, yeah.
Did it for longer, right?
And he would put himself out there.
I was going to say, he took the pain.
He had no problem talking about it, addressing it.
And doing it his way.
But same with Cuban, to some extent. And how do you know that? Sorry, Smalls. But when Major League Baseball said, no, we don't want you. Yeah, because the Pirates wouldn't be better with Mark Cuban owning that team right now.
Wild.
I mean, but that's the thing is, you're right. Not every owner of every team can act the way that Jerry Jones can act. But I would actually challenge some people who want to get involved in all of that. Like Matt Ishbia with the Suns clearly wants to run everything. Name yourself GM. Like, do what Jerry did. You're not going to win. You're not winning an NBA title. Go the other way. Be like Jerry. As crazy as that sounds, be like Jerry. Name yourself head coach. Ted Turner style with the Braves back in the day.
But right now, Jerry still purports that he wants to win. He has the illusion of them going for it and trying to win Super Bowls. Because it's, yes, guys get paid, but you're going to attract a certain player if they're just buying into the circus, if they're just buying into the reality show. Certain players will want to win. You think Tom Brady would voluntarily have wanted to sign up for the circus?
No.
Knowing that he's never going to win?
Nope.
So you're not, certain players, that's going to be a repellent for them because they are competitors, not entertainers.